everybody. I'm your host in cinematic repugnance, Tommy the Hammer. Today we're going to be checking out a Takashi Miike film called Gozu. This movie was loaned to me by my good buddy Ben. He swears by it. He says this movie is strange, messed up, just about everything that we've come to expect from director Takashi Miike. And I am a huge fan of his work. My favorite movie of his has to be Audition. It's just so psychological and fucking weird. But the guy's made a plethora of amazing movies throughout his entire career, including Ichi the Killer and, of course, 13 Assassins, one of the best samurai martial art action films ever made. So I'm really stoked to check out Gozu. I'm sure this movie is going to be very fucking weird, but I know absolutely nothing about the film, and you guys know that I like to do that, fly blind right into these flicks. So let's get right to the solo flight review, guys. Peep that trailer, give it a look-see, and when we get back, you're going to know my opinion on Gozu. That's a Takashi Miike film, alright. Weird as fuck. And let me tell you guys something. These movies, Takashi Miike's films, they're definitely not for the uninitiated. If you don't like bizarre, surreal films that kind of make zero sense, well then I would tell you to steer clear from this guy's work. But for me, I grew up with a lot of movies that are definitely strange. David Lynch comes to mind, and as I was watching Gozu, I couldn't help but feel like this was all a dream, a fever dream, a Yakuza nightmare, as it were. And it's really kind of hard to pinpoint at what moment during the movie the dream begins. The basic story seems simple enough, although it's definitely a comedy movie in certain regards, and our main character is kind of like this low-level, goofy Yakuza member who's given the task to kind of off his psychotic brother. And I feel like it's this moment that our main character kind of slips into a delirium, a dream of some sort, and the rest of the movie is just this surreal, bizarre, hallucinatory trip in his eyes, through his experience. There's a lot of oddball characters, a lot of weird scenes that kind of had me cracking up, and the overall special effects of this movie are really fucking good, really nightmarish. I think we've all been there before where we've had a dream that just seems ridiculous and outlandish, but there's just something about the dream, something about these scenes that our mind conjures up that's far more frightening than a straightforward horror movie. Sometimes comedy and goofy moments can kind of lend their own weird, bizarre, surreal, nightmarish quality to those moments. I kept hearing about the ending of this movie, and don't get me wrong, it's really fucking weird, but it's just kind of wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, at least in my opinion. But I can't really complain about that. If this entire film is a dream, then the disjointed nature of the ending would kind of makes sense. And I also feel like there might be something slightly lost in translation, at least for me, or maybe even just American audiences in general. There was like this weird mythic or folklore quality to the film that maybe I just didn't entirely understand. The whole creature with the cow head, seemed like it was symbolism or, fantasy to some, degree. But that's not to say I didn't like it. I thought those scenes were just as weird and enjoyable to behold as anything else in Gozu. But at the end of the day, I gotta give this a star count, and naturally speaking, I'm gonna be comparing it to a lot of other Takashi Miike films. Is this as good as my favorite Audition? Nope. But is it as bad as my least favorite film of his that I've seen, which is Zebra Man? Well, this is slightly better than that movie, and I think this is worthy of anyone's bizarre movie collection. So if you like strange films and you like surreal storylines with slightly comedic elements, definitely check this movie out. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this is definitely for the initiated. So I wouldn't just pop this on at a party with a bunch of unsuspecting guests. There might be people leaving, there might be people even bored, but this is definitely for a specific audience. So out of 10 stars, I think I could give Gozu a solid 7 out of 10.